We're going to start a second tutorial for Visual Basic 2010 Express. Go to New Project. And once again, Windows Forms application should be defaulted. Select OK. Sometimes it takes a while to load. You can see my toolbox is already open. If yours is not, you can select this icon here and the toolbox will appear. For this application, we're going to create an application that converts kilometers to miles. So we're going to need to add a button. I'm going to rename my button convert. Actually, yes, btn convert, because the prefix for button is btn. So I change the name property in the properties window. Then I'm going to go to the text property and change it to convert. So now you can see it says convert. It doesn't actually change until you click off of the properties window. I'm going to change the form as well, because right now it says form 1 for the user and I want it to say convert to miles. Actually, I'm going to call it convert kilometers to miles. Convert kilometers to miles. You can see on the form it says convert kilometers to miles. And I'm going to change the name property of the form because that's what you do in Visual Basic. So FRM convert, I'll call it. I'm now going to add a text box so the user can actually type in information. So I look for the text box in the toolbox. You can see it here. Put it on my screen. And you can see the text box automatically starts off blank. There it is. So you can see the text property of the text box is blank. That's the way we'd like it to start so the user can enter information in. I'd like to rename the text box. The text box prefix is txt kilometers. So km, txt km. I'm also going to add a label, and I'll put it down here so that when the user actually clicks the convert button, the answer will be displayed in the label. I'm going to rename my label button by changing the properties, the label property, the name property, and the labels for the label in the properties window. LBL miles. And I'm going to change the text property of the label to blank. So go down to the text property of the label and delete what's in there. We're ready to write some code now. So double click on the convert button. This will bring you to the code editor window. Everything that is typed in this area here will actually happen when the user clicks on the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the name of our label, which was LBL miles, dot text, because I want it to appear. That's the property that will change. So instead of being blank, it'll actually make the answer appear. And I'm going to write in the code that calculates. It changes the kilometers into miles. So txt is the name of our text box. So we want to take the text from the text box, so txt kilometers dot text, because here are all the commands that are available to us, equals, the formula is, it's multiply, not equals, so multiply rather. The star sign represents the multiplication symbol. So txt kilometers dot text multiplied by 1.61, because that's the conversion factor to change from miles to kilometers. So what that does is it will display in the label whatever the user types into the kilometers text box and multiply it by 1.61, and the answer that will be displayed into the label. So let's return to our form and try testing out our program. So hit the start debugging button, which is just like the play button. type in a number. I'm going to type in 1 kilometer, convert, and 1.61 is displayed. I'm just going to do a couple other things to make it look a little better. So I'm going to put a label beneath the kilometers. Actually, I'm going to put it at the top rather, and I'm going to change the text value of the label to enter the kilometers. I'm going to change the name of my label to LBL kilometer instructions, LBL kilometer instructions, and I'm going to add another label here, and I'm going to call it LBL miles instructions. LBL miles instructions is the name of that label, and I'm going to change the text property of it to miles. I'm just going to relocate that so it's a little closer to the text box and to the other label, and we'll run our program. So I'm going to type in 1 for kilometers, convert, and it converts it to 1.61. So there's 1.61 miles in 1 kilometer. And that's it for tutorial number 1.